What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if we'll ever get a Kingdom Hearts 1 remake. Now, people that have been watching these videos over the last little while, well, firstly, I do want to thank you guys for supporting these videos. We've talked a lot about the future, pretty much, of Kingdom Hearts. Are we going to get a new game in 2021? Would it be a collection game, right? Would it kind of formally end the Xehanort saga, which already ended like 15 other times with the other collections? Or, do they skip 2021 altogether? But 2021 also has the PS5 and Series X. Maybe you do something on next gen. 2022. 20-year anniversary of Kingdom Hearts. Now, we've talked about the possibility for Kingdom Hearts 4. We've talked about, I think, the greater possibility for just a new game. A new, not like mainline installment, but a side game, maybe a Birth by Sleep 2, maybe a Dream Drop Distance 2, whatever they want to call it. Or, like, Kingdom Hearts subtitle, a new name, okay? Something we haven't seen before. That could be Sora with Riku and Yuzora. It could be Kairi. It could be all of the things that basically we've talked about at the end of Melody of Memory, right? Is that the way they go? Well, I had this crazy idea, and I don't know if I mentioned it in a video, because sometimes I'll give myself video ideas inside a video. It's very meta in that way. But I wrote this down, and I thought, don't forget this, Alex. Don't forget this. I'm not saying we'll get this. I'm not saying we'll get this in 2022, but a lot of things I think add up with a Kingdom Hearts 1 remake. 2022 is the 20-year anniversary of Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, yes, because that's a 20-year anniversary, it doesn't have to mean that they remake the first game, okay? And, I just got done saying, right, even like a minute ago in this video, that the whole point is we've wrapped up Phase 1. Nomura, he did the Avengers style. We're in phases, right? Phase 2 and 3. Probably Phase 3 is like somewhere in the 2070s. The year 2070 is probably when we'll get to that. So, we're done with Phase 1. I know some people said that, like, Remind and Melody of Memory are technically now the start of the next phase. I don't know, like, is there an official map that he's made that has all these games on it and they are in Phase 2? Because in all reality, like, especially Remind, is still, it's 95% Kingdom Hearts 3 just redone. So I would say that's also Phase 1. And then when you have Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, you could argue, I guess, that's pushing it to the next phase. But would they go back and would they remake the older games? Now, we've had remasters. We've had collections. But we haven't had a remake yet. And the question, I guess, the biggest question that would need to be asked is Kingdom Hearts 1 in need of a remake, and does it make sense? The thing is this. I think it is in need of a remake compared to some of the other games. It does make sense because of the anniversary, because we're in an age of remakes, because I think that would do good sales-wise. That's why it makes sense. What it doesn't make sense is to rejuvenate a franchise, to bring it back, things like that. You look at the other remakes that have happened, and why do games get remade? Well, oftentimes, it's a game that's been a very long time ago, right? And it's either the game franchise isn't around much anymore, or it's in the need, it needs a kick in the butt to get going, or they want to bring it back and make new titles. There's numerous examples. You look at Spyro, which rumor is there's a new Spyro being made. You look at Crash. Crash got 2 remakes, then we got a new game. You could argue the one Sony is doing is more for nostalgia, Shadow of the Colossus, Demon Souls. They're not doing those to make a Shadow of the Colossus 2 or a Demon Souls 2. But I would say pretty overwhelmingly the idea is to give it more, I just give it more, basically, right? Bring the franchise back, make new games afterwards. That's kind of the goal. Now, one interesting one that stands out that's almost exactly in line with Kingdom Hearts, and it's the reason why I brought this up, is Square Enix with Final Fantasy VII. So Nomura's even attached to that, right? He's like, he's either like the executive producer. He's like, he's overseeing that. Okay, so you look at that game. That's a fantastic example of pretty much what they could do with Kingdom Hearts. Final Fantasy is still around. We're getting Final Fantasy 16. Who knows? Maybe the end of 2021, maybe 2022. It's very close. We had 15. We've had all of these games over the last years. Yes, there are patches where we don't have these games, but they're the in-between period when they're making them, okay? Final Fantasy VII, it's a game that is, 25 years old almost, right? Very old game, a game that is loved by so many people, but in need of a remake. And, it doesn't even matter what people, like, I loved it. It's my favorite game of this year, actually. But, I know some people maybe thought that they didn't do it right or whatever. Maybe they have such fond memories of the original, whatever the reasoning is. But that game, I think, falls directly in where it's a remake. It is capitalizing off of a remake society that the gaming industry has, kind of undertaken. It is part of a franchise that's still ongoing and it's still very popular, but they have older games that are in need, maybe, depending on who you ask, but they feel are in need of some up-res, of getting it up to current time. Doesn't that sound familiar? Sounds familiar to Kingdom Hearts to me. Kingdom Hearts is exactly the same thing. A franchise that is still going. A franchise that has had, technically, 3 games in 2 years. Kingdom Hearts 3, Remind, although I don't really count that, but I know some people do, and Melody of Memory. 3 games, 2 years. And obviously, we've had Dream Drop Distance, we've had Coded, we've had lots of so many Kingdom Hearts games. The franchise is not going anywhere. It's not like the franchise is in need of, a kick in the butt, like, okay, let's get this thing out because nobody plays these games anymore. Let's get this back out. No, it's not like that. In fact, the games are selling, I don't know how much Remind or Melody of Memory did, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was the highest selling Kingdom Hearts game of all time. So that, that should show you right there that, okay, it's only going up. They could use the same kind of philosophy where it's like, all right, interest has never been high. And I think they do, honestly, by the way, I think they do think this because interest is at an all-time high. They know that, hence why they had a big story DLC and why they made a rhythm game out of Kingdom Hearts. Because they know we can make anything. We can make a Uno, skinned Kingdom Hearts game and people would buy it. And you know what? People would. I would. Or I would at least watch it online. And because they know they got people. So in all reality, you have that. You have the fact that the main installment Kingdom Hearts games, and I mean 1, 2, 3, those are the biggest ones. Those are the ones that people, I think, most recognize. Because, again, you got to think about just the people that aren't diehards. They probably only play the main installments. I mean, you look at people who played Kingdom Hearts 3, so many of those people, it was either their first time playing Kingdom Hearts or they really pick and choose which Kingdom Hearts games that they do. And besides that, Kingdom Hearts 1, well, it is the original. It's the oldest. It's the one that I think at least holds up now. I mean, you have Chain of Memories. You have 358/2, which could you even... Some of these games, could you even consider them games? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. No, but seriously, though, you look at Kingdom Hearts 1, and you can still play it. I play it. In fact, I played it leading into Kingdom Hearts 3. But I think if there's any of these games that do deserve some sort of update, it could be Kingdom Hearts 1. And you look at what they've done. I mean, Square Enix is when they make these games, at least visually, my dear God, right? So to see Kingdom Hearts 1 remade with the Kingdom Hearts 3 engine, whatever engine they've used, or whatever they've been using for all these games. I mean, come on, you could really do some seriously awesome things. I would say, again, with the 20th anniversary, it makes sense. It makes sense even as a side thing, because again, the biggest thing you could say against it is, all right, well, 2022, we really, I think as a community, have reserved that year for some sort of new entry Kingdom Hearts game. Again, whether it's 4, which I don't think it will be, I think you guys are on that same page, right? Probably some sort of spin-off game. We kind of think it's that. That doesn't mean they can't do both. It doesn't mean that they can't maybe do the spin-off game in 2021 and then 2022 is a remake. I think it's something that is eventually possible, maybe not within the next couple years, but maybe going forward. I mean, again, we are in the age of remakes. A lot of companies do them. Square Enix has done them. Nomura himself has done them. And it's a game that kind of checks all the check marks where it's yeah, the only thing it doesn't check, again, is the category of, is this a game in a franchise that's dead now? And the answer is no, you don't check that box, right? That's really the only thing it doesn't check off, where it's yeah, this is a game that the franchise is still going really well. It's in fact doing better than ever before. Maybe the story, maybe people aren't liking the newer games as much as, some of the older ones. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that could be, right? We don't, that's not the situation. It's not a game that's completely dying. It's a game that's getting bigger and better. So, I would like to see a Kingdom Hearts remake. Again, final thing I'll say, and I guess re-say it. Another of the biggest things that would be holding it back or would stop it from happening is the fact that okay, you just made up these phases now and we're done with phase 1. To go back, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that would make people happy. People at this point of the game, I think we're all excited / really wanting, like desiring a new game, like to continue to push the story forward. I don't know how many people want the 15th collection of this franchise, right? I'm personally, and to be real, I'm very sick and tired of all the collections. I mean, I would say like 3 different collections of these Kingdom Hearts games because they just keep doing them, and it's never enough. So I think like a PS5 one will eventually happen. That'll make me mad. I'm sure that'll make some other people mad. But then to do that, because we know that's coming, and I think we're on the same page there. They'll do a PS5 and Xbox Series X collection, and by the way, those will be up-res, the loading times will be better, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not a remake, it's not even a remaster, but it's like the thing right underneath those 2 things. So we'll get that. Do people really want them to take time and resources to remake an older game instead of doing a brand new game? You know what I mean? I think that would be kind of the divide there as well. So let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think it's a candidate to get a remake, whether it's, again, in a few years or just in the future in general? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. As always, you can follow me on Twitter. PodcastNow15 is my Twitter username. You can join our Discord server. You can subscribe to my second channel, Podcast Now Plus. Those are all different ways of supporting me as well. All 3 of them are in the description below. Thank you guys as always for watching. More Kingdom Hearts videos coming out as quickly or as often as I can get them out. Right? I do want to make this a consistent thing going forward, and I hope to see you guys there.